So tell us about that.
About San Francisco. Okay, another story of another use case that we have had at Decaf, and is that in Colombia there is a town called San Francisco, and it's in the rural Colombia, in the middle of the mountains. And there is an Australian entrepreneur that lives in Medellin that saw a business opportunity there. So he started employing women in this town as virtual assistants. He employed 60 women, and he also created another small factory, and he employed around 15 men. But the problem with this town is that it's so far away from everything that there are not even ATMs. So he wasn't able to pay these people by just like making a bank transfer, because these people don't have a way to get the money out, and many of them don't even have bank accounts. So what he used to do is that he used to go to Medellin and withdraw as much cash as possible from the ATMs to pay the salaries from everyone. So he would spend a whole day just collecting cash from all the ATMs. He had like a jacket with bags, special bags, and he would put the money there and then drive 3 hours to this town in Colombia and deliver the cash to everyone. And this worked fine for a couple of months, but one day he was getting out of a mall with cash in his bags. He was withdrawing money for the salaries, and he just felt like a tap on his shoulder. And then when he turned, he was shot. Like he didn't even have the opportunity to give the money. He was like immediately shot. It was like around here. Doctors thought that he was going to die. He was like in coma for 4 days, and then he woke up by a miracle because he had like very low chances of surviving. And he was very sad because he was like, I will have to stop my investments in this town, and I will have to stop all these job opportunities for these women and these men in this town because I am not willing to keep paying them in cash. It's too risky, it's too inefficient. So he was like just trying to figure any other way of paying them before giving up, and then that's how he found Decaf. And then what happens now is that he has his money in the US, right? Before, when he was withdrawing cash and giving it to them, it was also a hassle because he had to move the money from the US to Colombia and then withdrawing it in cash and giving it to them. So with Decaf, as I mentioned, he got a US bank account, and then he just transfers the money from that he already has in the US to that US bank account. And then all these women in this town downloaded Decaf. That is a wallet that is using blockchain technology. And these women are not technological experts at all. And they don't even know what blockchain is, right? But they all downloaded the app. And then he started actually paying them in dollars. And it was a very interesting case to study because, first of all, we didn't know how these women were going to react. And I would say that at the beginning it was like a bit of distrust. So in the moment that they were getting the money, they would immediately withdraw it. Like, how do they withdraw it once they have it in the wallet? We have an integrated MoneyGram. That is this partnership that Stellar has that allows our users to withdraw their digital money, their digital dollars, in more than 184 countries. And it's not, spoiler, it's not the same, they are not the same fees on the traditional money systems, because sometimes when I mention MoneyGram, people imagine huge fees. Here it's not like that. It's in Colombia around 1.5%, so that is amazing. So there is a small MoneyGram in a small store in this town, and that's how women withdraw their salaries. So in the moment that they were getting the money, they were withdrawing it immediately. And then with the time, they started seeing like, oh, maybe I can wait and I can see how, and when the dollar has a better price, I sell them. And then others were like, oh, maybe I just withdraw one part and I keep this other part saved, right? And then they started being like, oh, I owe you money, I will just send it to you in dollars instead of actually withdrawing it, losing the small percentage, but anyways losing, giving you the cash. I just send it directly to you in digital dollars through blockchain. And without even realizing this woman started using and leveraging truly all the advantages of this blockchain technology. And for Zach, it was very comfortable because he literally just makes a bank transfer in his house, and then he literally from his phone delivers the digital dollars to every woman in this town. And then that's obviously Zach is very happy, he can continue with his investments, and obviously these women are doing amazing because there are many factors here about this story. And it's like, first of all, these women, if they wanted to get a good job, they would have had to get out of the town and migrate to, I don't know, Bogota, Medellin, like the closest city. Some of them would even try to go to the US. But with this, they don't even have to get out anymore. And that's what they were telling us. They were like, it's because I don't want to get out. Like, people don't migrate because they want, they migrate because they have to. They didn't want to leave their homes, their town, they love living there. So now they are very happy because they can have a job that can be done from home. Like, when were you going to imagine having this Colombian woman working from home in the middle of these mountains, in this super rural town, right? But this is what this technology can achieve. And then also what started happening is that not just the woman started doing better, but also, first of all, they were telling us things that every time that I tell this, I get a bit emotional because they were telling us things like, oh, now I can actually pay for my son's university. And it's a dream that I couldn't achieve for myself, but I can allow him to now do it. And now I can send him to the city and tell him, son, you can study whatever you want. And then you realize that when you give opportunities to a community, it is not just the people that get employed that get benefit, but it is also the generations that come after them, because now the kids of these women have the opportunity to study and to have a career and to do better in life, right? And then when you give opportunities like this, what happens is that now these people won't end up in the street assaulting or robbing. That is what happened to us actually when we went to Medellin to visit this community in San Francisco. This happened in Medellin, not in San Francisco, but we were, I was almost stopped by 3 Venezuelans that robbed everything, all what I had. And they didn't have like any compassion or anything. They treated us horribly, a lot of violence. But then we were thinking, it's what happens when you don't give opportunities to people, because none of them have had a single opportunity to do better in life, and the only thing that they know is injustice, not being looked at. So we realized that when you give these type of jobs to these women, you are also changing the futures and the lives of the generations that come after them. And also another thing is that in this town, there are some businesses. This town is very small, there are just 7,000 people. There are some businesses in the center. We went to talk to them and see how was everything going and to record a small documentary that you should watch. We did it together with Estela. And then we talked to the business owners and things like that. We came back 3 months later and there were new businesses in the town. And the businesses that were already there also had new tables, another one had a new coffee machine. Like, you could see the investment. And then we were like, oh, why there are more businesses? And they are like, oh, the women were telling us, oh, it's because now I can actually invite my family to have a nice meal on the weekends. And a nice meal for them is a burger, something that maybe for us is like, oh, a burger is something very common, but for them it's something special, right? So now they are like, oh, I invite my family to on the weekend to eat a burger, and then this money that they are earning is being spent in the town. So this is creating a circular economy, and now not just the women are doing good, the generations coming after the women, but also the businesses and the community in general is doing better, because that money that they are earning, instead of being spent in Medellin, in Bogota, in cities, is being spent in the same town. So now everyone is doing better. And this was very interesting because when we started looking at it, we never imagined all the benefits that can come when you give opportunities to a small group of 60 women, because that 60 women is 60 families multiplied, and then in the whole community. So yeah, I think that this story is like, it gets, I am very emotional, so and like I have so many stories, but this one is a very like close one to my heart. And I think that is very, with this story, it's very easy to understand the good things that you can do with blockchain technology. Because I think that when we talk about blockchain, or when you hear a lot of people, the first thing that come to their mind is, oh, it's a scam, it's gambling, it's not good. But when you look at the advantages that this blockchain technology can have to actually solve problems, like real world problems, and change and save people's lives, is when you realize, oh, this is the future. And we are missing out. Like, this technology is ready now. It's ready to change people's lives. And it's like the message that we want to deliver. And it's like, it's also time for us as an industry, as the crypto industry, to start changing the narrative and to start telling these stories that everyone should know about. Because then when you talk about this, then all of you, I am pretty sure that if you had a bad perspective of crypto or blockchain, at least this will be like a bit, like, will make a change, right, in the idea that you have. And that's what we want to achieve, because we have seen it changing people's lives in San Francisco, saving people's lives in Afghanistan, and giving more opportunities to also refugees, migrants, people that have suffered so much that why do they still need to pay 20% to send money back home to the migrants, for example, that they leave everything behind. They go to the US, they struggle, and then they still have to pay 20% to send remittance back to their family. Like, something is not working well in this current financial system, and it's time for us to start changing it. And I think that this is the future. Like you said, like, it's not that these traditional systems don't work, but it's just that the world is changing. The world is becoming global, and with these technologies, we can keep up with that internationalization. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing so much of your work and the exceptional impact that it's had. One thing